Yeah, move to their rival though now.
Yeah, the Edmonton Oilers.
Well, I said that they're a playoff team. They're a playoff team because of 97 and 29 alone. I mean, they're so good. I mean, they're top players. We know that. I like what Ken Holland did in the offseason. I think Ken Holland made a lot of really good moves to take some of the. I'm not going to say the pressure, but to spread the burden around. For the Edmonton Oilers. And Dylan Holloway. It was announced today that he's going to miss 3 months. He has to get his wrist, another procedure done to his wrist to get him back to full health. But you add Zach Hyman. I mean, that is such a significant move for the Edmonton Oilers because he's such a good player and he can do so many different things for a team and for the players he plays with. He gives the coach massive flexibility. I think that, what they've done on the blue line, Tyson Berry had a nice season. They lose Adam Larson. I think a big thing for the addition of Duncan Keith, and it's not just Duncan Keith, what he's going to do on the ice. It's also Duncan Keith, when he can go and spend time, whether that's off days, whether that's during the game, whether it's between periods with McDavid, with Draisaitl, with Ryan Nugent-Hopkins. He's played with the best of the best. He's had success that's been, unparalleled for a player of his ilk. So, when he goes and says to the team or to an individual, this is what we have to do. This is how it has to work. This is what we need from you. That's meaningful. And so we can look at where Duncan's at. He's not the same Duncan Keith he was when he was a dominant defenseman in the league. But I think his impact can be really, really strong. We talked about Shea Weber. Shea Weber is a Hall of Famer, in my view. Shea Weber is not the same player last year that he was 3-4 years ago. But you cannot tell me that he doesn't have a material impact on the team. Not just through some of his play, but also, hey, this is what we got to do, and I'm going to show you the way. And that's what Duncan's going to be able to do. And I think that that's really going to help them. But the depth that Ken Holland, the additions he made up front, I think are going to really help this team move forward and be better balanced come playoff time. Because we know McDavid and Draisaitl can score, and they score like very few others in the National Hockey League. But to be able to have other players that can do some heavy lifting and can get the other team off balance and get the other team unsettled and create different advantages in a game plan, especially come playoff time, is really important. And I think Ken Holland was able to do that. And I think there should be every reason for Edmonton Oilers fans to be excited. And, they're at a stage now where, it's not about making the playoffs anymore. It's about how deep can you go in the playoffs? And, Mike Smith, he had a great year last year. He also needs to, come back and have a similar type season, but maybe not at the same level if the team is stronger, like we expect it to be. But he can't have a subpar season, because a subpar season is going to be really damaging to the Edmonton Oilers. A subpar goaltending is going to be damaging to the Edmonton Oilers.
It's good to
Yeah.
see a more positive take on that Duncan Keith trade.
Yeah, a lot of people were pretty harsh on that move. But
Yeah.
I don't know. Like, Duncan
I'll
Keith
share
was
a story with you guys. And, former Montreal Canadian, Mike Keane. And Mike was with us in Dallas. And I can tell you this about Mike. Mike is arguably one of the very best leaders I've ever been around in my entire career. And, that's what he was able to do and how he carried himself was so significant. Things that nobody sees. We traded for Mike in 1998. And the first game of that playoff series against the San Jose Sharks, we lost Joe Newendike to a season-ending knee injury. We were the President's Trophy winners that year. Mike Modano, top player. And, we're playing, and San Jose's a really good team, coached by Daryl Sutter at the time. Really good team. Hard team, competitive team. We're in San Jose. I don't know if it was game 3 or 4. And Mike Modano is, feeling anxious. He's feeling anxious. He feels the game's kind of back and forth. Nobody's getting an edge. And it's halfway through the game, and Mike Keane reaches over and puts his hand on his arm. And he says, Mike, just keep doing what you're doing. You don't have to do more. You're not going to do less, but don't think you have to do more. Just keep playing. We got a better team here. We're going to be. Mike said it just made him relax because he said somewhere along the line, Mike Keane knew that I was anxious and that I wanted to do more. And, I wanted, and, those types of things to sit down in a game in November. And there's going to be moments in the regular season where you might not be really up for a game as a team. But a guy like Duncan Keith knows there's games that are going to be critically important to building your team's strength. Guess what? Connor McDavid doesn't know. Duncan Keith does know. But if Duncan Keith can relay that and convey that and tell players, hey, relax, calm down, you got to be better, whatever it is. Yeah, we can look at the analytics and we can look at the on ice and we can look at what his salary is, right? The addition of Duncan Keith is about something far bigger than Duncan Keith. And I think he can deliver. And that's why I share that story about Mike Keane.
No, that's
pretty cool.
Yeah, it is pretty cool.